animation of the human digestive system, which consists of the rectum, large intestine, small intestine, pancreas, and the stomach, which is also known as the gaster and the ventriculus, the liver with the gallbladder, esophagus, as well as the various salivary glands near the mouth, parotid, submandibular, and the sublingual gland. First, the food is broken up in the mouth by the teeth and then mixed with the saliva. With the help of the salivary glands, saliva contains a digestive enzymes called amylase that are already begins to digest the carbohydrates in the mouth. It splits carbohydrates into smaller units, the ball-like mixture of the food with the saliva. Also known as bolus, is pushed into throat by the tongue and finally into esophagus, which propels the bolus to the stomach. The esophageal lumen, that is the opening inside the esophagus, is very flexible, which allows bolus of different sizes to be transported. These layers occur throughout the interdigestive tract. The two outer muscle layers are responsible for the peristalsis. Through these two muscles, bolus can be transported from the mouth to the stomach, even if the person is standing on his head. Stomach is often divided into 6 areas. Stomach is composed of a similar structure to the esophagus. It has a longitudinal muscle layer on the outside. The stomach wall contains the gastric glands. They produce mucus which is able to protect the stomach wall from the secreted gastric acid. Gastric acid produced by the simply smelling. That is the release of the gastric acid in relax. When a bolus is pushed from the esophagus, gastric juice consists among other things like that. In addition, nutrients food also contain a bacteria that can damage the body, able to destroy the harmful bacteria. In the stomach, gastric lipase splits the triglyceride. Through gastric juice and stomach movement, the individual bolus are mixed into a semi-fluid mass of the partly digestive fowl that called the chyme, so that the larger pieces remain inside the stomach. For this reason, pancreatic juice contains hydrocarbonate which is able to neutralize. Pancreatic juice also contains the proenzymes because the bile breaks the food back into the tiny droplets emulsification. Bile is produced by the liver cells via the bile of the bladder. The small intestine consists of the 3 sections, duodenum, and the ileum. These circular folds extended about centimeter into the lumen of the small intestine. These folds are covered with a small finger-like projections called the villi. Villi increase the surface considerably. Villi are about 1 millimeter long, and these are specialized for absorption. Thin wall, 1 cell thick, enable shorter diffusion path. Large surface area, so there will be more efficient absorption of the fatty acid and the glycerol into the blood streams. Each villus contains blood capillaries and a lymphatic capillary called lacteal, which we will see later. The nutrients marked green here are absorbed by the villus and transferred to the blood capillaries. Some nutrients such as glucose do not require a carrier. They are transported freely in the blood stream. Other nutrients such as iron require transport proteins. Fats are transported by the chylomicrons, which are the lipoproteins. The triglycerides to be transported are rigidly enclosed in the lipoproteins. Chylomicrons and triglycerides are then transported through the lacteal of the villus. Each villus is covered by the even smaller microvilli. They multiply intestinal surface considerably. The microvilli absorb the nutrients and transport them to the inside. The last part of the small intestine is the ileum. It does not have, unlike the duodenum and the jejunum, circular folds. The ileum absorbs electrolytes such as calcium for building bones, hair, and teeth. Trace elements such as zinc for the sperm production. And the immune system vitamins such as B12 for the formation and the maturation of the red blood cells and remaining the bile acid. Which is transported back to the liver via the blood stream. Here is the peristalsis occurred. As with the esophagus, the food is transported by the peristalsis. In contrast, segmentation contractions serve to mix the chyme, which is shown here in yellow and red to make it easier to see the mixing process. Large intestine is thicker than the small intestine. It is about 1 meter long and surrounds the small intestine. Small intestine is connected to the large intestine via the Bowen's valve. It opens when chyme is passed from the small intestine to the large intestine. The large intestine does not have any villi like the small intestine because most digestible substances have already been absorbed in the small intestine. However, the large intestine has estimated 100 billion bacteria inside. They are important for many other tasks such as the production of the vitamins and the decomposition of the fiber for the body's energy production. Many of these bacteria are important part. Through peristalsis, the chyme is transported ascending colon, then to transverse colon, and then from the transverse colon it will go to the descending colon, and from the descending colon it will go to the rectum, and then it will deliver to the anus, and here the excretion will occur. The animation of the human digestive system, which consists of the rectum, large intestine, small intestine, pancreas, and the stomach, which is also known